Salute. Hey, look, check this out. You got ME Drip. We back at it again with another conversation with Drip. And this time I want to give a conversation to my student athletes. So, like I said, even if you're not an athlete or a student athlete or whatever, y'all may know somebody who is. So as always, y'all can still tap in, tune in, lock in, and watch this video and share it with somebody else. So first thing first to my student athletes, right? Now I did another video where I do different if I was in high school, right? Or a student, right? For some of y'all student athletes, y'all are in high school. So y'all need to go back and watch that video. Then come back. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that one. Then come back and watch this video. And I'll wait. I'm letting the room clear out first. Now, for the ones who have watched the video, we finna get right to it. So, first thing first, student athletes, I want y'all to listen to me and listen to me good. Do not let being an athlete or a student athlete be the highlight of your life or the sole. It can be a highlight, but don't let it be the sole highlight of your life, because too many times there are 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old adults, and he's still talking about when they was an athlete in school and they haven't done nothing past that point. They haven't even elevated past that point. They probably took a step backwards. They probably let themselves go, right? They not in the same shape as they was. They stopped taking care of their body once they finish being an athlete. They probably didn't elevate their job or their occupation. They didn't elevate their network. They downgraded the network. Some of them probably got locked up. Some of them have mental health issues and stuff like that, and they still stuck in the past. Not be them people who they only highlight in their life is being an athlete. And a lot of times, some of these people that I'm talking about, they be y'all parents, y'all uncles, y'all granddads, grandmas. Like, come on, 20, 30, 40 years pass by, and that's the only greatest moment that you have in your life. Like, come on, y'all, student athletes, listen to me good. Do not let this be your only highlight. This is just another phase, another chapter in your life. Make sure the next few chapters, make sure they always get and better, never backwards, right? So that's the first thing. So just because you're a student athlete, and I said this may be just a phase in your life, right? When I say it's a phase in your life, don't treat it as, oh, it's just a phase, right? Treat it as your opportunity, right? You're blessed because every year people, or y'all fortunate, or whatever y'all want to call it, y'all lucky, y'all worked for it, because every year they have a tryout, and every year you outlast hundreds all over the country and all over the globe. There's thousands of people who tried out to be in a position that you're in and didn't make it. They did not make it. Whether it may not be directly your school, it may be in another state, another city, or another country. Somebody who's trying to be in the same position as you are couldn't make it. So don't take that for granted. Oh, it's just another phase in my life. It is a phase, but don't treat it as if it's a phase, because you still have an opportunity to take it to the next level. So if you got the opportunity to take it to the next level, regardless of win or lose, if you successfully take it to the next level or not, do everything you can to put yourself in the best position to keep that door open. That's all I'm saying. And with that being said, right, when it comes to the next level, y'all have to have y'all mind made up that, and this is going to transition to so many other things I'm about to say to y'all, but y'all have to have y'all mind made up that y'all are not talented, and each level is another reset. So what I mean by you're not talented, a lot of y'all are talented, but you need to tell yourself you're not talented and go put in the work as if you're not talented. Because if you tell yourself you're talented, you can build complacency, right? I'm not saying not to be confident. Yes, be confident. But you in the gym, you need to start like it's ground zero again. Or if you out on the track, or whatever sport you may play, pool, chess, cheerleading, like anything, it needs to be starting from ground zero every time you're putting in that work. Do not get comfortable, because again, just like there's thousands that don't make it, There's thousands that do. And each level that goes up, it gets smaller and smaller. So each level is a reset. It's a fresh page. So you can't afford to just say, hey, I'm talented. I'd be good. Even if you're the number one prospect out of whatever nation that you're from, you still got to put in that work ethic because you never know what could happen. All it take is for your academics to go down the drain. All it take is what's another good example? All it take is one injury to happen to you, and now that one injury you may think is small, but it affects your whole game because it affects a part that you rely upon so heavily. Or it takes you getting in trouble, making one wrong decision, being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and something happened to you, and boom, you done. Or it just take a bad consistency, or like a rough stretch of games or whatever athletics that you in, a couple of bad performances, and it could set you back. Or being in the wrong, you advance to the next level, or you at this level, or whatever level that you at, and it's the wrong environment. You made the wrong choice to go to this wrong scene, and you don't grow in that area, and you spoil like a banana, and then your chances are over. So that's what I'm saying. Like each level is a reset. You can't afford to just kick your feet up and just say, "Oh, I'm comfortable." No, you're not, because all of these sports now that y'all getting into, they're becoming international. It's a newsflash, y'all. They are becoming international. They are global. There are people from all over the world trying to get into certain sports. So that means everybody that runs the sports, and I'm not just talking about just the traditional baseball, football, soccer, football, and basketball. I'm not talking about the traditional ones. There's other sports out there as well, and it is a global phenomenon with sports. So everybody's trying to play sports. So that means the people who are the scouts that are selecting y'all student athletes, they have a much more wider pool to select from, and they don't always have to be in college. Now they have other routes you can pick somebody as well, as far as non, college or the non-traditional scene. You may have stuff that's out in town, like certain events and stuff out in town. You may see somebody who's talented, and then they can come out that way. So their selection is much bigger. So you can't just afford to just uh, not only treat it like a phase, but don't take it as serious enough. So that's all I'm saying, y'all. Of your life, well, let it be a highlight of your life. Don't let it be the only highlight of your life. And also, while you are in this highlight, take it serious. That's all I'm saying to y'all. And so that leads me to my next point, right? Y'all health. That's another thing, health. Because too many times y'all rely too heavily upon a coach or athletics in general to make sure y'all are healthy. No, they only supposed to lay the foundation and the blueprint for you. It's up to you to make sure you stay healthy because again, we know being an athlete is only for a specific amount of time. Even if y'all go very far, is what, 10, 20 years most? And you got to think about you have your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s to live, 80s, 90s, and something, and, maybe people who can make it to 100. So you got a longer life outside of athletics. So you can't just depend on the athletic culture to make sure you in shape. And I'm not just talking about just working out and lifting weights. I'm talking about everything as far as your diet, your preparation, as far as your day-to-day routines, your eating habits, what you're watching, as far as what you feed in your eyes, what you feed in your brain, what you feed in your ears. It's not just what you feed your tongue, right? Hygiene, right? It's just all the other forms of health are your insides. Another part, your insides clean because some of y'all are great athletes, but y'all insides are terrible. But like y'all are so, I guess, genetically good where it can cancel it out, and by y'all being young enough. So you have to keep that in mind. Your kidneys good, are your liver is good, are your teeth good? Do you have the bad bacteria in your mouth? Did you make sure that's scraped away? Just little things like that. You have to make sure that all aspects of your life is healthy. So yeah, focus on the health. And it leads me to my next point, right? Networking. I think that is so key. Networking. Don't just network. Yes, you want to network with as many athletes as possible and, build a good relationship. It's always good to, be around people who understand your lifestyle and you can relate to them. Another thing, the reason why you want to hang around other athletes is because it's like the law of attraction. You keep hanging around, you're going to become them. So, especially if you hang around great athletes. If you're a good athlete and you hang around a bunch of great athletes, you're going to be great yourself. So that's key. And also, the other benefit is uh, relationships. Sometimes you just never know what could happen out of those relationships for the better when you just network with different people. And there's a downside that comes with networking too. There is. You could run yourself. The more likely you do something, or the more you do something, the more likely something could happen, whether it's good or bad. So if you network with somebody, be prepared for some crazy things to happen along the way. But however, you can minimize some of the crazy stuff in a negative way if you're making sure you hang around good, solid athletes on or inside the uniform and outside the uniform. So just keep that in mind as well. Also, don't just network with athletes, right? Network with other students, because everybody has a own. It's like their own library. They have their own story to tell, and they have their own set of information and stuff like that. And you can learn stuff from anything and from anybody. Like I say, hang around people that's equivalent to you or better than you, right? You never want to really downgrade and hang around people that's not really going nowhere in life or really focusing on progressing in their life. But you want to hang around many people that's living their truth, right? So what I mean by that is not only just hang around athletes, but it's okay to hang around future scientists, future doctors, uh, future shoemakers. Like you just never know who you may need or they may need you. And then too, like everything's a learning experience. You learn something new every day. If you're not learning, you're dying. So don't run from that growth and just say, "Oh, I just only want to hang around athletes." You can spend majority of your time around athletes, but don't be afraid to hang around other people because you got to diversify your network. Because the more diverse it is, the more you can get certain things done, or you can just be able to tap into things when you never thought you needed them. And then the other one, right, is like the trade. You being a student athlete, yes, that's great. Congratulations. But don't lean too far into being the athlete. Focus on being a student as well. Student slash being a student of your craft as far as the athlete, but being a student of having you something else going on. Right? Because we know that, or if y'all don't know, I'm gonna explain to y'all don't know. Just because y'all an athlete, that doesn't mean that there's y'all one way ticket to the top. Like I told y'all, each level is a reset, and you never know which level that you may get kicked off at. But one thing that could actually help you in the long run is if you have something to always fall back on, as far as trade or another skill set that you can tap into, regardless of if you go far or not, because you always have that trade to fall back on, and something that's gonna always typically last longer than being an athlete. Because being an athlete, like especially on the professional level, is probably what 10 to 20 years, but everybody don't get to the 20. It's more so 10 to the 15 range. So if you're 18 and, for example, you do the minimum and that's 28, you still got 38, 48, 58, 68, 78, 88 to figure out how you're going to eat. So that's something you got to keep in mind. You got to figure out how you're going to eat. So, and athletes and even some of the athletes that come in the game, they don't always eat because some of them still living to paycheck. So you want to have you something else to fall back on just in case something happens or you don't make it and you'll be just as straight. So get you another trade under your belt. Don't just depend just because you're an athlete and you good, you the number one prospect or the top 20, top 50, that you could just uh ride it all the way to the top. And it's cool, even if you do ride it all the way to the top, right? Still diversify that portfolio because again, once y'all get that athlete money, that's it. It's gonna be up to you. I think it's for athletes, it's up to them to roll that stuff over into their own retirement plans and stuff like that. It's not like certain like military, for example, where you can get your retirement or be an astronaut or something like that, where you can just get a retirement from that job or whatever. Now, you being an athlete, you get all that money up front, and it's up to you to. It's basically being an independent contractor. You get that money up front, and it's up to you to figure out how you gonna delegate those taxes and make sure you have your retirement plan and your 529 college funds or IRA Roth account, whether it's a personal side or business side or health savings account. So it's up to you to figure out how you gonna manage all that. And then the fifth thing is, because I only got two more things I'm gonna leave y'all with, right? Take away the life lessons from the game. There's two lessons that I want y'all to take away: the life lessons and the sports lessons from the game, right? The life lessons: networking, focus on building out your resume. The other one is adaptation and flexibility, problem solving and critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and always be willing to learn, yearn to learn, always want to have a hunger to learn more. Uh, Focus on building out your personal brand and then life management. So by you being a student athlete, a lot of y'all are technically manage academics and being an athlete. So take that as far as you having two worlds to manage and manage it well. So as you progress throughout life and you have different challenges that you face, you'll be good because you already dealt with this early on. And there's one thing I wanted to say about, I'm backpedal on this, but there's one thing I want to tell you about trades, right? So even if it may not be an academic trade, and this kind of goes hand to hand with networking too and communication skills, like there's so many other layers to sports that you can get into rather than being the person who dripping the sweat. There's so many other layers that you can get into sports without dripping the sweat. You can be the one who make phone calls. You could be the one who type the data. You could be the reporter. You could be the podcaster. You could be the ref. You could be the one who clean the floors, or you could be the one water boy, the water girl that travel with teams, the travel chef, like so many other different layers to being, because y'all just focused on just breaking the sweat, but there's so many other things that have to go on before the athlete can go out there and break the sweat. Even after the athlete breaks the sweat, there's other pieces and stuff that falls in place that has to happen. So y'all need to be looking more in them lanes as well. And the earlier y'all look in the lanes, for example, the earlier the better. Because I'm gonna give y'all an example, right? What Let's say you want to be a referee, right? What if you already referenced uh games? You got your social media account built out, or some of y'all player profile built out. And yes, build your player profile out online. Don't just let the state build your player profile up because they're not gonna put a picture. They're gonna put a very generic information about you. Build your profile out. Do it yourself. Go up there, update it. If you don't know how, ask your coaches. And you can build your own brand in a way. Like you a referee, you over here, you got your social media accounts. You go into your different peers games. You go into a couple of professional games, uh, maybe collegiate level games or high school level games, and you record, and then you do your own little blogs. You do your own content. We're in the social media area, so anybody can be their own TV. Anybody can have their own TV show. So if you want to be in the athletic world, create, what TV show can you create? Create your own TV show. Create your own podcast. If you want to be a ref, if that's like your fallback plan, like hey, if I can't make it in this, I go be refing, right? You could be like, hey, you can start you up a YouTube channel and just do 30 minutes or a minute, uh, like I'm doing, just talking to y'all, and you can start breaking down the game that way. And you never know what could happen. Somebody may hit you up and be a commentator. They have commentator positions and stuff. So that's what I mean by having a trade. You may not want to go get a traditional trade like everybody else because you love athletics so much, but get you a trade that's in the athletic world. You could be a reporter. you got good interview skills, you love to talk to people, ask people questions, or if you some of y'all nosy. Y'all like to nose around other people's business, ask questions and stuff for a living. Hey, at least put yourself in a position where you get paid for a living. Go be a reporter, and then you do it after certain games or events or whatever. You pull your camera up and your phone mic and you interview people and ask them about the games and stuff like that. You put it on your social media page and you build your portfolio up that way. So don't be lazy. You just gotta think outside the box. Don't always think about breaking the sweat. Think about how you can break the minds. So just think outside the box, get creative because there's so many other different lanes out there that y'all could be doing. So that's a point that I wanted to cover. And then my last one is right, the sports lessons, right? You know, focus on the stuff that it teaches you, the time management, the goal setting, the discipline, the communication skills, the resilience, sportsmanship, nutrition and wellness, leadership skills, and self care. I ain't really gotta go too deep into that because I'm talking to athletes that are pretty much in their teenagers and up, and I put plenty of videos out, and I'm gonna put more videos out about various different forms of this, different motivational videos and conversations like this. So I don't really have to go too deep into this, and y'all can Google what these words mean and how to apply them to y'all. But just take those lessons, right? And overall this whole thing and apply it to you. So that's it, man. Another conversation with Drip. I just wanted to talk to my student athletes for a moment and give y'all some quick gems. Like I said, go back and watch that first video. As far as for those who are in high school, lessons I learned in high school, then come back and watch this video. Then take all these lessons and start thinking to yourself like, okay, I'm an athlete right now. I don't know if I'm good or I'm great, but just in case I may not be an athlete tomorrow, right? I can have a couple of trades under my belt. I have my network going. This ain't the only highlight of my life because I'm staying in shape beyond this. So, yeah, I'll be good. So I want y'all to like button, hit that comment button, bring y'all mouth in that comment section. Share this video with many people as possible. Hit that subscribe button because I got more bangers on top of bangers on top of bangers on the way. I want y'all to tap in, lock in, tune in. Yeah, drip.